So welcome to Brooklands to Lot 76 Cars and the MOPAR event. Now MOPAR essentially represents a number of American brands that are now owned in the main by Stellantis Group, but there's actually other brands here as well. I've noticed Mustangs and other brands as well. So let's take a walk around and see what we can find. Please join me. Thank you. So first up, the thumbnail, and it's no coincidence, it's this car. It's the 76 Pontiac Trans Am. So let's have a look at the graphics on the bonnet. This is something else, isn't it? Wow, what a lovely, lovely car. Now this Plymouth means business. Look at the tyres on that, those rear tyres. Oh, let's have a listen. The old Charger's moving now. That's another £10 gone, isn't it? It's only $1.70 a gallon, don't worry about it. Now, I seem to be in a small traffic jam of Dodge Chargers. Now, if you thought most of these had been destroyed in the Dukes of Hazzard, you were wrong. A few survived, you know. And this orange Dukes of Hazzard style one, I wonder if the doors are welded up and you have to jump in. I'll ask the owner. Now the boot on these is surprisingly big. And you've got to love the side profile of these. One of the cars where a vinyl roof is almost mandatory, isn't it? And looks pretty special inside too, doesn't it? Column shift, plenty of room to stretch out and relax. Here's a fantastic Chrysler New Yorker, pink and proud, isn't it? That takes some parking, as indeed will many of them. And you won't be able to hear me much on this one, but it's a Tommaso Pantera, arguably American, well certainly an American engine. And a lovely Chevrolet Corvette. Next to it, a very early Chevy Suburban Wagon. Two-door wagon with a sort of low-rider look, tastefully enhanced. Lovely colour, isn't it? And a Chevrolet Corvette Stingray next to it. Love the wheels on that one. And I guess this would be a Chevrolet pickup from the late 50s. And this is a more recent Bullet style Mustang that was sold recently to commemorate the Bullet movie. Lovely colour, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. And I'm reliably told this is an Oldsmobile 442. Well, that's some car, isn't it? Affectionately known as Lola, is it? I'm not sure. And the car we heard running very recently is this Chevrolet. And a G-plated, so what, 68, 69 SS Camaro. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? I love those stripes, how they finish on the front wing. That's beautiful, very cool car. There's not really a bad angle on this. What's staggering is the size of the rear tyres in comparison to the front tyres. They're absolutely huge. You really need to see this car from almost every angle, but the front's pretty special, isn't it? Yes, it's a Ford Thunderbird. Oh, I love the colour. Let's try and take a look inside. I think it's open. I think that's worthy of another look. Well, there's a little bit of space inside. Certainly no lack of chrome there, and every indication it's a Thunderbird on the glove box, or certainly in front of the passenger. Lovely, lovely condition inside. It must have been retrimmed. What's really nice is this sort of pillarless coupe style that you can see from here. Whether this car indeed came from Kansas, I'm not sure, but it absolutely looks lovely from this angle as well. Now this is an original bullet style, although I'm sure I've probably got that wrong. Mustang from 67, looking at the plate. It's obviously a left-hand drive, so I'm not sure whether they were sold in the UK in left-hand drive format or only right-hand drive, but it's a lovely car. It's probably worth looking at the back, because that looks pretty good from there as well. And I wasn't wrong in this instance. It's special from the back because it is from the front. There's no mistake in those Mustang rear lights, is there? What a lovely car. And a Pontiac Firebird. So it's quite an old one, relatively speaking. It's a K, so what's that, 71, 72? And a newer style Mustang, 5 litre, rather than the smaller 2.3 engine. The Mustang looks even better from the front, doesn't it, with that carbon effect bonnet. That suits it quite well, actually. And a later Chevrolet Camaro Z28. A later car, but still nonetheless an attractive looking vehicle. I think these were sold by GM in the late 90s officially, or probably by Bauer and Millet over in, or up in Manchester I should say. Although it is a left-hand drive vehicle, as you can see. And we're looking at here a Chevrolet, and here we've got a Chevrolet Camaro, a more modern one, but nevertheless a special looking car. It's got quite an interesting shape to it. It's almost quite futuristic, hasn't it? Not for those of a shy retiring nature is this bright green, I mean bright green, Corvette. And a Pontiac Trans Am. And I think this one's open, so let's try and take a quick look inside if we can. Let's have a walk up here and take a look inside. T-bar roof, lovely interior, and beautiful steering wheel, and that turned aluminium dashboard really sets it off, doesn't it? Just have a quick look at the back. Lovely. And this is a Dodge Viper with a minuscule V10 engine. Probably one of the last production V10s, aside from a truck maybe. Fantastic. It's got the right registration number, hasn't it? And complete with those white stripes on blue. It's a good looking car. Now these are still available in a number of world markets apart from clearly the US. The enormity of this vehicle, this Ram, is absolutely incredible. I think this group is now owned, or Ram is, as a brand, is owned by Stellantis, but it's so difficult to actually get across to you the scale of this. It's massive. It's just a mere 6.2 litres and supercharged. And again, I'll try and put this in context against some of the other vehicles here, but you've got other American vehicles and it absolutely towers above them. A lot of 50s and 60s pickups here as well. Chevrolet has been no exception, and it's tastefully modified. I love the red wheels on this one, just sets it off, and the sun visor, it just looks right, doesn't it? And a couple of other Chevy pickups, and also next to it a GMC and a later Ford Mustang next to that Ram we've just seen. Complete with flames on the side is this Chevrolet Silverado. And just coming into the show, we'll get the chance to hear this Dodge Charger. I'm not sure it's got parking sensors. I think you probably need them on a car like that, don't you? No. Best thing is to get out and have a look. Now this looks like a Bedford, because in actual fact it is a Bedford. I'm not sure it sounds like a Bedford, but it's got a sort of American style to it. And you've come to the right place for a pickup. Sorry, I'm probably not going to be able to do all of these justice. There's simply so many of them, and I'm no expert in these American pickups. But there's some absolutely huge vehicles. I guess you can understand the space of the US. You've got low gas prices. You've got the space to park. I suppose they've always made sense, haven't they, really? Oh, I think this is probably my second favourite car, this Chevrolet SS Nova. It's a lovely, lovely lilac colour, isn't it? Now it's registered on a C plate, which would indicate probably, if the manufacturing date goes with that, it's 66. Lovely car, isn't it? I do like that one. So here's a 72 Pontiac Gto with Florida plates on, registered on a K. Lovely looking car. Wasn't this the one that Clint Eastwood was so keen to hang on to? I'm not sure whether it was that or an earlier car, but this is a lovely looking car. Immense, and also pretty immense in that shade of orange. Lovely. Some super looking hot rods. A 289 Mustang, also on a D plate, 66. Why so many of these cars on D plates and C plates? And I think this one is a Chevy Bel Air from the late 50s. And another C plated one, what, 65 Ford Torino. Now I'm struggling with this one, so you'll have to definitely put the comments and help me out on this one. I haven't got the chance to Google it now. It's a Ford Sunliner. It's worthwhile taking a look under the bonnet, because you could probably, if you chose, cook and eat your dinner on that. Lovely condition. And the inside of the car's not half bad either, is it? Now, I'm no expert in Mustangs, as you'll probably gather as we get a little further into this, but certainly what I can show you is I'm aware of the later ones, facelifted ones, obviously the Bullet style special edition, the earlier reintroduced Mustang when they started to really get the Mustang style back. Perhaps in the middle, where they sort of lost their way maybe a little bit for a short while, but nevertheless still an impressive car, and it's still a Mustang. And the one that looks like a bumblebee at the end is drawing my attention, as I guess you would in that colour. That's a lovely looking car, isn't it? And here we've got a Ford Thunderbird. This is another standout car, really, to be honest with you, in the period where Ford produced some fantastic looking vehicles. I guess what works with this one as well is the colour, as well as the style of the vehicle. It's really a good looking car, isn't it? From the front right the way, the wrap round front windscreen, that lovely semi hard top, and the fins. Yeah, it's definitely American. It's amazing how much of the style of the Mustang they've been able to get to cram into the new Mach-E Mustang. Yeah, it is recognisably a Mustang, and despite what you might think about the moving to SUVs, that's the way the market's gone. Lovely to have it though. And this 289 Mustang, proclaiming it's a 2+2, definitely has some room in the back for passengers. Now, the one thing with these Chargers that always amazes me, and I don't know why, is just these hidden lights. If I could find the owner, I'd ask him to put the lights on just to see the covers reveal the lights. They do look kind of mean, don't they? an unrestored Dodge Coronet. Now I mentioned those tyres earlier just to try and give you some idea. This is this Mercury Cougar, another one. Florida plates on. Immense looking car, isn't it? Now this is a fantastic colour combination. This pastel blue and white Mustang, and looks like it's a 67. It might look reminiscent of an Austin 1100 police car in terms of colour scheme, but it's an immense car and it really works in this car. The colours really work, to my eyes anyway. And the interior's colour scheme is not disappointing either. Now this badge is the giveaway. It's a Pontiac 440 Roadrunner. And it looks immense from any angle, but you can get some idea how big this car is from the back, I guess. Incredible car. And we've got a H-plated, so would that be 70, 71 maybe? Dodge Challenger. Love the colour scheme, that purple. Maybe we can take a quick look inside. And just very kindly left the window open. And as you can see, it doesn't disappoint, does it? And this shy retiring violet of an American car is, and you certainly can't mistake the badging, it's a Chrysler New Yorker. Not sure how practical that would be in New York, but it's an amazing looking car, isn't it? And the interior is no less shy and retiring either, is it? As indeed are those fins. What a car. What a car. And badged Plymouth satellite. Again, I won't attempt to go into too much detail and get it wrong. And a Dodge Coronet. One of the cars or pickups just leaving the show. Again, you need to see this from probably the rear to appreciate the size, scale, and to some extent the beauty of this. And this is a Chrysler Sebring convertible. Now this, I know, is a 63 Dodge Polona, and I know the name came, I think, from Polaris, something to do with the space race at the time. It sounded very futuristic, and that's why Dodge used the name. And we've got a DeSoto Sportsman. I'm not sure how sporting it actually is, but it certainly looks impressive, doesn't it? I love the colour scheme. Let's go and have a look at those fins. If you're looking for fins, look no further. Wow, what a car. And another Plymouth, proudly displaying its MOPAR plates. A lovely H-plated, what, 70 H-plated Dodge Challenger. Now apparently this is a Dodge Dart Swinger. No, don't ask me anymore to explain why it's called a Dodge Dart Swinger, but nevertheless, let's just appreciate its green beauty outside and the sea of green inside. What happened to the DeSoto brand? I must investigate that, or please drop it in the comments if you know more than I do. This is a DeSoto Fire Dome from the 50s, I guess. And here we've got a Dodge station wagon, 67 car, entering the show. A Dodge Monaco station wagon. Well, there you have it. and it's for sale. Now you never see one station wagon and then you've got two in a row. What's going on? It's a Suburban. I guess that'll be Chevy, won't it, if it's Suburban? A few more Plymouths and a Dodge creeping into the picture there. This one doesn't look half bad either, does it, next to the DeSoto? There's a Ford from the 50s. Oh, that sounds good, thanks for that. If you've ever seen green lights on a car, well, you have now. Now, I don't think we've seen too many Buicks today because it's not really their day, I guess, but here's this lovely 50s Buick, white over primrose yellow. I'll try and take a quick look inside. Pillarless coupe, I always like these. Losing that pillar looks fantastic, or certainly works well, doesn't it? Looks pretty good inside as well. Not quite as much room as you would imagine. They're more boot and bonnet, but lovely nevertheless. So thanks for joining me on Lot 76 Cars at the MOPAR Day at Brooklands. We've seen some fantastic cars. Some of the cars, in fact, are still arriving. I'm almost out of battery here, so I'm probably just going to make a move now. Hope you enjoy the cars that are on display and the videos of the cars that you've seen. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.